Hey, people in the chat, what's up? Everybody's coming in, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I'm OnyxRose from OnyxRose.net or OnyxRose9.substack.com. I go by, well, I am OnyxRose, but, and you are?
Samantha Page. That's just pretty much what I am. Here on Substack. That's where I kind of hang out. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you write anywhere else or no?
Before I started Substack, I used to shout into the internet void on Reddit, but I've stopped going to Reddit, and now I just
Right.
kind of do
Yeah.
it all here. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I was on Reddit for years. I would like, I'm almost sure that I started when Reddit started,
yeah.
and then yeah, and then I switched another username. So I had two usernames, but I had
Okay.
each username for like 10 years. You know?
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
No.
my last one I had for 13 years. Yeah.
Oh, see.
So and then I stopped using Reddit because
Mm.
it's just it is super toxic over there.
Yeah, I hear it's been getting a little bit better, but I mean, I spent an enormous amount of my youth growing up and everything on online, so like bulletin board services, and then
Right.
the early sort of forms of the internet, and that anonymity factor was always something. So you were always kind of like screen names for little, and you had your favorites that would always be combinations of it. So if somebody wanted to track you down, they could probably, but yeah.
Right.
So all the way through AOL, all the way up, it's always been. And this is the first time I've ever done anything under my real name, and that's what's fun
Okay.
about it. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm using my middle name.
Hmm.
Um, but I am easily, well, I'm Onyx Rose pretty much everywhere. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I remember my first online
Mm,
handle,
mm.
because it's kind of funny because it's full circle because it's the name of my website too, of my site.
Oh,
So
okay.
the name of my site is Onyx Rose, Presence Not
Mhm.
Permission,
Mm,
and my
mm.
first handle was Presence a long time ago. Like I didn't start on AOL, I started on
Um,
MSN.
yeah.
Yeah, and so that it's a full circle moment. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. It
uh,
is. Yeah.
um, so let us think. Yeah, we'll just roll
No.
with it.
Yeah. Heck with it. Let's roll. We're
We're just
going.
gonna let everybody come
It's
on
just a pleasure
in.
to meet you. Honestly,
Hey,
I've been watching
yeah,
and reading
it's
your
nice
stuff,
meeting
and
you. I know
yeah.
our paths have crossed so many times,
Right.
in terms of the memes that we
Hmm.
share,
Hmm. Yeah.
and so yeah. Hey, Neuro D. Let's see. I don't know most of the other people. Hey, Luca. Um, AOL chats. Yeah. Hey, Stuart. Hey, Diane. Who's this? Cat checks. Luca, love you both. What's up? Okay, so we're just getting into the chat, letting everybody in.
Oh
Love
yeah.
these
Yeah.
smiles.
For
Yeah,
me, I have to read them, and that means really getting really close, and I don't want to
yeah.
subject it with
I
my
know. Well,
forehead.
I'm
So.
actually, when you see me doing this, I am like up on my laptop right now.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. See, this is
Yeah.
wonderful. Just watching, like, learning from people who do this. Like I was on. Um, I spent a little time on TikTok. I was never on TikTok. Did you ever TikTok?
So yes, but not in the way of
Mhm.
broadcasting or anything like that.
Right.
I just made videos,
Okay.
TikTok videos, and shared them. Not dance videos or anything like that.
Right.
Like I did like memes and like pictures of me.
Hmm.
I was
Hmm.
very obsessed with me.
Yeah, no, well, that was how I used it too. It's like little, it's little sexy photos, just to kind of
Right.
get that out there originally. But it was like just part of, I think, my transition, part of my process of coming to know me was that need to sort of like get feedback from random people who would,
Right.
maybe be
Yeah.
nice to me, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: were you part of any trans boards in the beginning? Like, so I'm gonna just throw some names out there. Oh shit,
I won't know any of them,
Susan's
but go ahead.
place.
No,
Susan's place?
don't know it.
No. Oh
No.
damn.
Is this in the Pacific Northwest, or is this somewhere?
No. So this is an online community. Susan's
Oh,
place.
oh,
Yeah.
no, it was all Reddit, honey. That's where I was pretty much
Oh,
all
even
those boards. Yeah.
okay. That even in the very beginning, like
So I guess that depends on where we're talking about at what point in my life we are. So when I went through a portion of my life where I was still, I mean, like, I've always known who I was. It was
right.
just how I dealt with it. I didn't know what to do with what I knew because it was like I've said this before. It was kind of the movie, what the world according to Garp, that I kind of like my egg cracked in the middle of that movie pretty much. It was like, okay, now I know what's going on, but I didn't know
Right.
what how do I get from Roberto Muldoon where I am as a teenage person, and uh, and I didn't know any of that stuff. So
Right.
and it wasn't until I started meeting other people and getting a better idea and things like that. And then I got kicked out of my house. So it all interrupted that. And then it was just a different kind of life. And life was different, figuring it out that way. And then I went in the army, and that just taught me how to hide everything. And then college, I came out a little bit. And then it was when I moved to Chicago that I entered my first relationship that allowed me to be who I was without some sort of kink or some sort of play acting or role play involvement. It allowed
Right.
me to be who I am. And it was a wonderful freaking relationship. It changed my life. I would have married her in a heartbeat. But, and I think we were both in love, but she was a few years older than me. And, she got a job offer in another city, and it just wasn't meant to be. I was in school in Chicago, and she got this job offer in London, and so she had to do it. And then, but it broke my heart, and it was sort of, what do I do now? I know who I am. I'm actually being myself, and now I'm sort of what I think most people do when they first transition anyway. Will I ever be loved, right? And will I
Yeah,
find someone to be with? Um,
definitely.
and at that point, in that fear, I think I entered into a portion of the BDSM community,
Okay.
because I found more acceptance in that environment at that time.
Right.
And of course, I was vulnerable from losing this relationship with this wonderful woman, and I met someone who had as many red flags flagging as I did, but we both decided somehow to ignore them. Um, and uh,
Okay.
and it was just a horrible, horrible relationship in the end. It was just very abusive, and it just wasn't
Uh,
great. And it was all focused on my identity. Um,
okay.
you know, she was a dominant, I was submissive, and it became this mind kind of thing. And by the end of it, it was just so devastating to me, that I just chose to go into the closet. I chose that maybe, this life wasn't going to work for me. And I spent a
Wow.
number of years in the closet.
Ah,
And then I came out via fetish primarily because, again, for some reason, I've always found the BDSM or fetish community was more accepting, generally in that
okay.
way to be for you, to be who you are. I talk a lot. I'm sorry. Plus, I had a
No,
Mountain
no,
Dew.
no,
So this
please.
is,
No, please.
probably not
No, no,
helpful.
no. I want you to because I didn't know any of this about you.
Oh,
Yeah, I did not know any of this. So,
so yeah, I got so I in high school I knew who I was, and in high school I got into new wave because I could dress more. Duran Duran was a great band anyway. I'll die on that hill, but
wait, let me
yeah,
stop you there. My
yes,
bestie, her
hmm,
favorite band is Duran Duran.
nice,
She wrote a book called Hold Back the Rain. And if you,
wow,
yes,
uh-huh,
and she got permission from the band.
no way,
She's seen, okay, she's seen the largest archive of band memorabilia.
mm,
She's close friends with the person who owns it. And when he dies, it'll go
wow,
back to Duran Duran.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so
wow.
it's wild. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that.
No, no,
That
no, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's incredible.
so
I was very enamored by the sort of new romantic fashion of Duran Duran and Adamant, and Japan was another
Echo
big
and the
band that I liked a lot
Bunnymen,
too. Yeah, that gets on to sort of New Order and the
new
Manchester sound, um, but new romantic was something sort of itself briefly,
right.
and I enjoyed that sort of way to be feminine and be myself because it wasn't too outside the mainstream of new wave and punk that was going on in my high school at the time anyway. Um,
Okay.
and so I could wear eyeliner, or I could, do things that get my ears pierced. At least I thought, because outwardly facing that way, I felt more comfortable.
Right.
My
Right.
father was very, conservative and Air Force officer, and I wasn't really allowed to do anything with my hair. But I had my ears pierced, and one day he discovered that my ears were pierced, and we had a row. I'll say that way because we were talking about the romantic in English, but um, and. Uh, and he searched my room and he found some of my makeup supplies and he found some feminine things that I had been collecting. And I don't know if you've heard this before or whatever, but and then he threw me out. And I was 17. And so
Woo!
yeah, and that was in 1986. And so I spent some time surviving. And I had an army. So this is how I joined the army. This is how I saved my life. All right, because I lived in some interesting areas of Denver at that time, and I was doing some interesting things. And I was doing some things with friends, like couch surfing, that thing too. I wasn't like always like, but I had a lot of time to kill,
Right.
and a lot of ways to do it. And it put food on the table. And
Yeah.
so anyway, but I there was an army recruiter who would he'd buy you a Big Mac if you listened to him speak. and and so he'd come around like once a week. And so it was like a free
Right.
freaking meal, right? I mean, it's a Big
Yeah.
Mac. I'd let him babble, I'll eat this Big Mac. And like by the fourth week, I was going, maybe he's saying something I should listen to. And then by like 2 months, I'm going like, okay, this will save my life. Let's do this. It's not. I mean, this is the best Big Mac and cheapest Big Mac I'm ever gonna get. And it was really
Right.
the best decision I ever made because it allowed me to sort
Well,
of get
that
out of
is
that
awesome.
street. Yeah.
And I'll tell you why that's awesome, because I hear people when they say they
Mhm,
joined the army, especially
mhm.
trans people, they're like, "You know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the best decision."
Oh,
And to
yeah.
hear someone say, "Yeah, it was a good decision," is great, you know?
Yeah, like
Oh,
back at that time, I think there were three types of people who joined the army: people who loved their country and wanted to serve their country,
right,
people who had a prison sentence that they could possibly get out of by joining the army, and then people like me who just didn't have any other choice. But
right,
at the same
right.
time, I've always loved my country. My father was an Air Force officer. I mean, I grew up in that kind of
So
culture, so it was easy for
my
me.
dad is it
Yeah.
was in the army.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
I lived on bases my whole life up
There you
until
go. Yeah.
16. Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad retired as a colonel.
There you go. Uh-huh.
He was a flight surgeon, OBGYN,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
but he wasn't strict,
Mm.
he didn't make me say sir or anything like
Mm.
that, ma'am.
I didn't have
Um,
to do that. That's so
right.
thankful you didn't. Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It wasn't like, the movie Girls Just Want to Have Fun, where the dad is so like strict and like he's
Hmm.
a military dad.
Yeah,
It wasn't like that. My dad was really chill.
yeah.
Now when I came out, of course, it was a different
Mhm.
story, and I didn't talk to them for 2.5 years. So,
Yeah.
they didn't talk to me. Let me put it to you like that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I wasn't kicked out, but
Mhm.
this was because I came out later in life.
Ah.
Like,
Mhm.
they didn't find anything out. The interesting thing is, my mom knew I carried purses,
Mhm.
like, I actively carried purses during high school and college, y
Wow.
you
Okay.
know, I
Yeah.
wore dresses, because in college, it was like a hippie college, so I went to college at Charleston in South Carolina. But
Oh.
during that time, it was like a little hippie school,
Okay. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
at least part of it. I shouldn't say the whole faction, but the part I
Mhm.
hung out with were like
Right.
hippie
The part
girls.
that. Yeah. Right.
So
Mhm.
and, they had little patchwork quilt, skirts, dresses, so I had one too,
Wow.
and, yeah, and, it's interesting because my my parents never just, like, put it together, and I didn't
Hmm.
really put it together until later, but then when I did, I was
Hmm.
like, "Okay, shit, yeah, that makes sense." And my
Hmm.
parents were like, "Well, we never knew." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I don't know how you couldn't see, but, I guess basically we see what we wanna see,
Yeah.
and that's how it is."
Yeah.
Um,
My father, I wouldn't he didn't require me to call him sir or anything like that. There wasn't that kind of level of um but he was a shorter gentleman,
okay.
and all that entails. Let's just leave it at that. But
Yes,
anyway,
yes.
but his thing was that he I think he knew, he's always known that there was something effeminate about me, at least the way he would have classified it. And at that time, I think that it would have been to his great shame had I been like gay. And so he'd probably made assumptions that that's where I was going from my behavior. And so he did
So
everything in his power to man me up. Join this sport. We're going to make you do, let's go running. Let's go. And it was freaking horrible because I didn't want to do any of that. The
Right.
things that I wanted to do that I suggested, you know, no, we were that just like roller skating so you can learn to ice skate. No, we're not going to do that.
Right.
I wanted to learn how to ice skate. I love that movie about the hockey player and the ice skater, and they. Anyway, I don't remember what it's called, but
I don't
I had
remember the name of
anyway.
that. Hey Lisa, what's up? Yeah, no, so to be fair, now I should say I played football, soccer,
Okay.
not hand egg, which is
Mm,
American football,
mm,
but I did play football.
mhm.
And I do follow football.
Oh,
My team is Arsenal, so go Gunners. We're about to win the
wow.
Premiership.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard. Yeah.
Um,
Uh-huh.
but you know, sports was a big thing when I was young. It
Mm.
was a way but I played. The thing is,
You
like,
probably wanted to. You liked it. It was a
I
punishment
loved
for
it, but
me.
I played with girls. That's
Oh,
the
oh,
whole thing. Is I
wow.
played with girls the whole time.
Yeah.
Like I had to play on the guys' team, but our teams were like girls and boys up
Yeah.
until a certain age, and then it was boys and girls, and then they forced me to play with the boys. But
So you had that
for
experience.
from that
Yeah.
time, I played with girls, and that was just fun.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
and
the way my
then
kids had it. Yeah.
huh?
That was the way my kids had that opportunity to play
Okay,
sort of
yeah.
in that way for,
So
at the early age.
I'm kind of interested in how old you are because
Oh,
I have a feeling we're around the same age.
I am 58 years old. So,
Okay, so we're not the same age. I am 52. Yeah.
okay. Well, when they're in the same. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
are, yeah, but we're
Yeah.
close. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's good enough. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Still
So let's
50s.
yeah, yeah, once you get in your 50s, it's just,
Right.
so, the thing is, I don't feel 52. I don't
No.
feel I feel like I'm in my 30s.
I've
And I
always
know I
felt like
act
the
like
same 17-year-old I've always been in my
yeah,
entire life,
well,
to be honest.
the thing about, when did you come out, first of all?
Well, see,
For
when I came
good.
out, it wasn't coming out. There wasn't a thing to come out to. I didn't really know. So when my
Okay,
father kicked me out, it was because I was potentially gay, you know. Um,
okay,
and so then I came out. And when was that? That would have been in probably um 2000, maybe, when I had the relationship. 2001, 2000, when I had the
okay,
relationship that um you know, set me free, and then at the same time led to the relationship that pulled me back into the closet.
right,
And then I came out. I finally stood up for myself and just said, screw it. I'm going to be myself and not dependent on who I'm dating and the relationship and the relative safety that I would feel from the person I was dating. I so finally just
right.
said, screw that. Probably 3 years ago, and then I started HRT. My birthday, transition birthday, is February 11th, so of 25.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's when I started
Okay,
HRT. So I've been on it for
okay,
about a year,
okay.
loving it. This is it's
Yes.
I've been spending a little time on Leon. I've been. Do you know who Defense Trans is? The TikTok Liana. I
No,
believe
I
that's
don't.
their name.
No.
Okay, well, I've been on TikTok watching this person, and they are wonderful.
Okay.
And But they deal with TikTok, and it's like really busy, and I don't really understand what that is. So, but they do a
Right.
very good job at what they do. And so I have been listening. I forgot where I was going. I'm sorry, I lost the thought, the plot.
So Defense Trans.
Oh, so I've been watching and listening to their sort of like experience on TikTok, and there's a lot of aggressive people coming on and just being aggressive for or saying a slur and then getting kicked off. And then there are these enormous moments of joy where someone will come on and they will ask them about, what this situation is like or experience is like, and they'll answer with this incredibly informative and answer. And and so I've been just enamored in watching them work. But I just can't imagine that aggressiveness of some of the people who come on and do that stuff that they have to deal with. I do not know how I got on this topic. To be honest with you, Onyx, I don't know where I lost the thread.
Well, but I do want to jump on that because
Mm,
we do trauma talk.
yeah.
Wendy the Druid and the rest of the
Yes.
crew
Mhm.
do trauma talk on Mondays and Fridays, and the stuff that's posted on YouTube. would
Mhm.
probably blow your mind. It
Oh,
is just
wow.
disgusting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is horrible. It's sewage and just
I wow. I mean, I guess I was blissfully ignorant of everything for a while
Right,
because I was in my early transitioning. I was focused on fashion. I was focused on me. I was focused on the changes in the feelings I was having and how much
right,
joy. And then I would have moments where I would go places and maybe somebody would laugh or somebody would look. But screw that. I've had people looked at me all my life. I'm used to that. I can take somebody looking or laugh and screw it. So, I'm
here
out
we
there being
go.
me. And then freaking Trump, those ads came on where people were like saying all these crappy, and I was sitting on my couch and I was like, I've never been on social media. I wouldn't know how to use it, but Substack seems cool and I got to say something. And so that's
Right.
how I started it. But
Awesome.
and I don't know anything else about it, social media. I've never really been in any other part of it. But
Okay, so
well,
I've
YouTube and
used
all that. I don't know what the hate is out there.
yeah, YouTube is crazy.
Yeah,
Facebook, I've been on Facebook for like 13, 14 years, and
that's a
I just
cesspool.
downloaded all my data,
Mhm.
so I can just shut it down whenever I want to.
Good.
Instagram, same thing.
Mhm.
I've got a lot of pictures. I've got like, I don't know, 1,800 pictures on, on Instagram. Yeah, but
Nice. Good for
so
you.
good.
Yeah.
I don't care. Those pictures I have everything on a hard
Mhm.
drive,
Yeah.
so I'm good. But you know, I mean, what I mean is social media has
Mhm.
kind of given me a way
Mhm.
to have a queer circle of friends.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Because I don't have one in real life.
Ah.
Um, Before the pandemic, I was going to support groups,
Mhm.
well, one support group in particular.
Mhm.
Um, and so, that was my, uh-oh, am I frozen? Oh
You
no,
are.
come back,
You
come
look
back.
frozen.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Come back. There we
Oh, there you
go.
are.
Okay,
You're back.
I'm no
You're
longer
back.
frozen. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, y'all. Just a glitch in the Matrix mainframe.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, they're
yeah.
friends. Yeah.
Once again, forgotten what I was talking about. That my brain works that way. But um,
Same.
yeah.
It's just
So
perfect.
transition. Oh yeah, I don't have an in real life friend group that is
Mm.
queer. So
Mhm.
my bestie is hetero, straight,
Okay.
cis hetero,
Yeah.
and she's just like, there's just no way. I just don't think
Yeah.
about women. I don't think about trans people. I don't think about non-binary people.
Mhm.
I'm just a straight man with a dick type of person. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that,
No, yeah, exactly.
But the point is that like I don't have queer friends in real life to hang out with. So
Mhm. Mhm.
I do that online. And
Right.
to that point when I was looking, and so this was in like 2006 that I found this
Mhm.
group, and it was like a bulletin board type group. And let's see, I'll tell the name of it. It was called True Selves.
Okay.
And in the same time, I found a book called True Selves.
Mm.
And that was the first time that I read a book that was not crazy about trans people. That was pretty much scientific, but also understanding and supportive of trans people and
Mhm.
put a name to trans
Mhm.
people. But at that time, it was called transsexual. So
Okay, yeah.
that was the name that
Yeah.
was given.
Right.
And I was like, okay, this is fine. I'm down. And um, so True Selves gave me a way to relate myself to these people's experiences, to kind of crawl through all these spaces and all this
Mhm.
information and kind of soak up and say,
Mhm.
yeah, this is how I experienced it too. And so
Yeah.
it drew me into this world. And I'm still a part of this group today. So
But
Like
it's an
some of these
online
people,
world. It's an
yes,
online world?
it's an
Wow.
online world, but these are some
Okay.
of these people, they live in Scotland and like
Wow.
Australia and
Yeah.
France and
Yeah.
and some live in the United States, but and some live in Africa. And I've known these people since like 2010,
That's
2006.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's great. I just met one of them like maybe 3 months ago, 2 months ago, like, right
Mhm.
before well, no, right before my surgery. So I had FFS in December, so it
Oh,
was right
wow.
before FFS. It was in
Yeah, good for you. Yeah.
November.
Yeah.
Yeah, FFS was really cool, like,
Yeah.
it was 12.5 hours,
Mm.
that I was under,
Mhm.
and they did, like, 8 or 9 procedures, and,
The whole way,
I
or did they
hate
break that into segments so that you'd have to come
no,
back?
no, the
Really,
whole
the
way
whole time?
through. Yeah,
Wow.
the whole
Wow.
way
Okay.
through. Yeah, and it was no
Yeah.
problem, like, the healing was no problem.
Yeah.
The first 72 hours were the worst part.
Mm,
It
mhm.
was hellacious, and
Yeah.
then after that, it was no problem. Like,
Wow,
my
okay.
healing was super easy, and I'm still healing. My face is still
Look, you're
taking shape.
amazing, honey. No,
No,
you look
thank you, thank
amazing.
you. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still taking shape, and it'll take another 6 or 7 months, to
We'll see.
settle in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a marathon, not a
Thank
race.
you.
You
Yeah.
look good. Fantastic.
Um, but, let's see, let me just see what's going on. Hey, Miss Use, yay!
Mhm.
Yeah, I love the community too. I especially love the Substack community. Now, I don't
Mhm.
write on
Yes.
Substack, anymore, but I do love using the notes, and I do love using the lives as evidenced
Yeah.
by what's going on right now.
Right.
Um, and I do like that platform. I like being able to talk.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
just end up rambling, but I do like doing it, so
That's me too.
um, okay. So we did have kind of something that we were gonna get
Oh, yes.
into. Let's do this first. Let's
Okay.
do our songs.
Okay.
Um, so we did a little something called 5 songs plus 1. Um, these are songs that, so how did you do your 5 songs plus 1, first of all? Did you pick songs that you just, were listening to over the last couple of weeks, or was it,
Oh,
like,
no.
your favorite songs of all time,
This, yeah,
or
that whole playlist is a biography.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. So I'm gonna jump into yours, like, the Gloria song, the first
Mhm.
one by, Patti Smith,
Yeah.
that's badass. I had never heard that before.
Oh,
Um
Jesus died for somebody's sins, but not mine. My sins I
Yes,
know, they belong to
yes,
me.
yes,
Yep.
I loved it, and I listened to it so much that was on repeat for a while. Like, I made a playlist of all of our songs,
I did
and
too.
then yeah, and so I listened to it over and over, and that's the one that I kept on going back
Well,
to.
thank you. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that my I mean, I had never listened to Patti Smith before I bought that record.
okay,
Um, I for birthday money, I had enough to buy 2 albums and I could choose. And so I ended up getting the Doors' first album and then the Patti Smith that record, Horses. Um, but I bought it because I had seen a Gilda Radner skit on Saturday
okay,
Night Live where she was sort of
right,
like imitating Patti Smith, sort of, I guess. I was
okay.
enough for me to connect it was Patti Smith or think it was Patti Smith. And then I saw the record and she looked so masculine in the album cover. And I was like, I don't know what she is. I don't know what this is going to be, but it's my birthday and I'm going to go with it. And it was the best record. It really just blew me away. She is
Y
she, for the way she exhibited the personification of a rock star, were
right,
all the trappings of masculine rock, right? But
right,
she
right.
owned them in a feminine way. Or I don't, I mean,
Awesome,
to me, she was just amazingly powerful, and it blew my mind to listen to
awesome.
that record. Yeah,
Well, that song, the song itself is just
mhm.
amazing.
Yeah,
I love it, so I'm gonna keep on listening to it. That is
good
I've
deal.
already put it in several playlists, so,
Good deal.
uh, the Belle and Sebastian song, "The
Hmm.
State I Am In,"
Yeah.
um, I like the storyline behind it. I had to check out the,
Hmm.
lyrics,
Hmm.
and honestly, I had to listen to it, multiple times
Yeah.
just to enjoy it,
Mm. I had a
and
couple with yours, so don't feel bad. See, this is what I would like to say. Can I go on my high horse for just a
Yes,
second?
go
Okay.
ahead,
So as
please.
part of the mixtape generation, right? Um, I really miss the mixtape, but there's things about the mixtape
Well,
that
so do
made
I.
it
Okay,
difficult, right?
right.
And unlike albums, which are making a resurgence,
Yes.
nobody's investing in both technologies. So the mixtape is really kind of gone. It's never going to come
Right.
back, right?
Right.
And MP3s and digital media kind of killed the mixtape because there was stuff that went into it because you had like a 30-minute cassette or a 45-minute cassette. And like, were you
Yeah.
trying to show off or be cool? Like, which cassette were you going to do, right? Because you're going to make
Right.
somebody listen to, an hour and a half of music that they don't know. I mean, so you had to like make these decisions. It was like the power move was to do a 45-minute cassette, but only do one side. Like, oh, okay.
Just like it's so bomb.
But you had this limited amount of media, and
Right.
so you
Right.
had to time your songs right. You could build a
Yeah.
whole playlist that did the whole thing you wanted, and then realize you're 13 seconds over, and now you're gonna end. It's not good. So you had to make arrangements and change for the flow, and you didn't know how long the song was. You couldn't hit fast forward. You had to,
Right. Right.
because like you can now. You can just skip. Boom. Oh, I don't like that. Skip.
Right. Right.
you,
Yeah.
you had to sit there and kind of try and time it because you don't know how long
I
the song is
remember,
either.
yeah, I remember doing that, so
Yeah,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So I mean, but the thing that's different about it now is that this is like I sent you a mixtape, but now you're gonna critique it right in front of me.
Yeah.
Or it's like, before it was like I sent it with love and emotion and hopefully of connection, and then you maybe a day or two later you see them and you're kind of like, oh, did you listen? And they're they're nonchalant, didn't, and then maybe they didn't, who knows? But it's
No, I
weird.
just like here's the thing with the music thing I do. I just like the
Yeah,
reason I do it is because I like to get
I
to
love it.
know people, and
Hmm.
it's easy to
Yeah.
like pull information from people from the music choices they make
Hmm.
without
Hmm.
them actually saying it. I
Yeah,
love,
true.
but then
It's a
I also love the fact that you can talk about it, and you're like, "Duh, duh, 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 duh." I love someone who will talk.
oh well. I
um,
love to talk. We're a match made in heaven.
yeah, let's see. I didn't know we were gonna be on. They were gonna be on with you tonight. I started following them. Okay, so I like. Unfortunately, I can't see what's going on in the chat. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for chatting.
yeah. I'm
I
sorry.
yeah,
Do you know how to save those at the end?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't either.
Uh, um, no.
Yeah. I wonder
Okay.
how big I could. Yeah, I just this is me if I read the chat, and I just really don't want to
Yeah.
spend the entire live
Well,
going,
that's
oh, there's my
exactly
forehead.
how I am. Yeah, and I don't even have my glasses anymore because surgery
Yeah.
after surgery. Um, Well, my nose changed,
Mhm.
and so my glasses don't fit on my face anymore.
Wow.
So I
Right.
have to get a new eye exam to get a new set of glasses, and of course,
Yeah.
my vision insurance does not renew until July. So I have to wait
Mm.
until July, and I so that what this means is I can't drive, I can't do anything that requires my glasses, and that
Right.
also means read.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine. But
So I
the
love
reason is special though. The reason you have to go through this pain until July is special though. So yeah.
yeah. Well, here's the thing, I love reading,
Yeah.
and so I will read online, and I'll just,
Hmm.
increase the font size. Yeah, so
Hmm. Yeah.
so,
You're
um
getting to be my age when you're taking pictures of boxes in the grocery store so you can, make it larger
Zoom
to read what's in the
right.
ingredients. That's me.
Right.
Oh man.
Okay, so the next song, Prince, okay,
Yeah.
classic, "Take
Yeah.
Me With You."
Right?
It's
Yeah.
yeah, classic. I mean, I don't know if anybody needs any there we go, thank you. Hearts, hearts, hearts. I don't think anybody needs any kind of, breaking down of Prince
Yeah.
songs,
Well, I am
uh
going to tell you why I picked that song though, because
yes,
it's a very special
please.
song for me because of that movie, right? So I liked Prince and I had a lot of records of Princess records, but
Okay.
when he did Purple Rain, I made my mother take me to go see that movie in downtown, and
Oh,
it was the first time I'd gone to something that I wanted to see and I'd taken her to. Um, that her response to it was actually like, I like that. I mean, usually it was kind of like, one could watch it or something. I don't know, but
right,
she actually, so I it was the first thing that I had introduced my mother to though, that I appreciated as who I was,
right.
that she connected to, or at least she at least didn't think was harmful. And
right.
so that record and that whole movie had all the special place in my heart.
So that's really nice.
Yeah, yeah.
I wish that my mom would not let me see that movie when it
Oh,
came
really?
out. She was like,
Well,
you cannot
yeah.
watch that movie."
I'm a
Uh,
little older, just a little, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and, but, you know, the album, I had the album, I bought it immediately,
Mhm, mhm.
and the cassette, you know, I think I had the
Yeah,
cassette and the album, so,
yeah.
it's just and I think I remember my first Prince song I heard,
Mhm, mhm.
um, was not, I mean, yeah, Little Red Beret and all of that, but,
Yeah, right, yeah, yeah,
no,
the
I mean, my first, like,
Little Red
real
Corvette.
Prince song that really drew me in was
Mhm.
Erotic City.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and I was when I heard that, I was just like, "Fuck," you know,
Yeah.
this is, you know, this I love this, and then, of course, I went through his back catalog and,
Mhm,
you
mhm.
know, and this is how I ended up a Prince fan. We went to, Prince's Paisley Park Studios,
Oh, you've
2
been
years
there?
ago. Yeah. I not gonna lie, I fucking lost it. I cried so hard.
Right? Yeah,
Because it was
yeah.
you know, he's such a legend, you know,
Oh,
and a
definitely.
big part
Yeah.
of my life, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
yeah, me
well,
too.
so,
Yeah, I mean, my mother actually probably saw that movie and saw an effeminate man in love with a woman and went, "There's hope." But
right.
that's but I got a different feeling off of it by her enjoyment of that and allowance
Right.
of me to enjoy it.
No, that's
But
awesome.
yeah, I've always liked Prince. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Mhm.
So Stolen Car, Beth Orton. Now, I
Yeah.
don't know anything about Beth Orton. I didn't even look
Mhm,
her up.
mhm.
The song itself I liked. It wasn't my favorite. I actually liked
No.
the Belle and Sebastian song better. Um,
Perfect, okay.
um, yeah, but do you
I just
why,
it's just a song that's always made me feel sort of like, I don't know, good in terms of not the
okay.
lyrics, not the but just the
Yeah,
groove. It to me is just always been sort of that. And Beth Orton, she kind of comes from techno. She would kind of be a vocalist on like techno artists' music, just when they needed
really?
a vocalist.
I
And
didn't
so
know this.
yeah, and so she then of course went on to be sort of a singer songwriter, kind of, but with that techness to it, I guess.
What, when was she in all of this, type of music? Like, cause I was in the dance scene, like, not I wasn't yeah, I wasn't huge in
Yeah.
it, I was but that was my life for a long time.
I have no idea what the tech scene was like. I'm sorry. That's I was doing other things, but I don't really know. I just know her story.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
like techno artists for me are like Fatboy Slim, which I'm sure is not really representative of like what really good
Well,
techno is.
actually, yeah, no, Fatboy Slim, like, his other stuff, like, I mean, the
Yeah,
stuff he got big on is a little
yeah,
different than the stuff he really rocks out, like, he
mhm,
jams. He's
yeah,
great, he's a great DJ and
yeah.
a great producer.
Right. Yeah.
But, like, he got stuck, you know, like, there
Mhm,
was one hit and that was it. He got stuck on that, like, people
yeah.
just but,
Yeah.
like, when we saw, like, you know, when we saw him groove, like, in shows and shit, you know, he was,
Mhm.
like, bringing the crowd up, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
whenever I see a video of something like that with a crowd, and the DJ, it's just like, wow, the energy in that has to be
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So, I actually met Egg at a club and,
Oh, no kidding.
yeah, like, it was a DJ, Miguel Miggs, he's a San Francisco DJ,
Mhm.
and, yeah, it was a pretty cool night, but that's beside the point. I wanna go back to let's see, I will jump, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
a
no, I
jumper.
love it. Yeah. I
Uh,
remembered something I wanted to talk about last time that I forgot before, but that's okay. So,
oh,
yeah.
wait, do you remember?
No, I don't want to go into it now. Yeah, it would
Oh,
just be total. Yeah.
wait,
I'm sorry.
like, we can go ahead, we can. Oh, shit, yeah, we've got time, let's do it.
No, 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 no. I'm sorry. That was just me being me, and I brought up something and knowingly should have just let it go and didn't. So
I
I'm sorry.
want you to bring it up, though, like,
No,
I
we can do it
love
later. It
hearing
would
this
be
shit.
kind of it would kind of kill the mood on this. And it's and it's not really related. It'd be so tangent. It would just be like whiplash. It would be like, what?
Okay.
So why?
Well, you know, if it's something you want to say, you're more
Yeah.
than welcome to say it. I don't care if it brings the mood down for a minute. We can bring it right back up.
Well, I
But
appreciate that. I know you
uh,
can. I shouldn't
okay,
assume, but I just don't feel like it's the right time to talk
okay,
about something,
sure,
and I
sure.
shouldn't have brought it up. And I made a
No,
big
no
thing about
problem.
it. It's really weird.
No problem. So the next song you had is Possession,
Yeah.
Sarah McLachlan.
Hmm.
Um, and I love her. You know,
Hmm.
my one, um, well, I shouldn't say my one, but one of my regrets in life is
Hmm.
that I did not go to Lilith Fair.
Mm.
Um, and that was rough on me, like,
Yeah.
you know, like, really rough on me because at that time, those everybody on that stage were, you know, they were all my heroes.
Hmm.
So, but at that time, I was a guy, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
guys couldn't, you know,
Go.
be,
Yeah.
you know, so I
Yeah.
I had to stifle those feelings and I couldn't go. And so I, you know, I cried about it and all this good stuff, but I didn't
Mhm.
tell anybody. And like I'm telling everybody now, but
Yeah.
I didn't tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
But you know, that's you know, so with that in mind, my favorite TV show of all time is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I know that
Mhm.
sounds kind of crazy, but
Not at all.
I
No.
yeah, it was one of those shows that was hugely influential in my life in the late 90s and early 2000s when
Mhm.
I was in a serious depressive episode,
Okay.
and with everything that comes along with it. So when I say it saved my life, it really did.
Good. Good.
Um,
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
and hmm, Buffy.
Yeah.
What were we talking about with Buffy?
I don't know. We were Sarah McLachlan, and then
Oh,
then
yeah,
Buffy had
thank
saved your life.
you. So
Yeah.
Sarah McLachlan has that sound. It
Hmm.
is the sound of Buffy. Like,
Oh wow.
her
Yeah.
music was used for the end of the end of season 2 and the end of season 6, I believe.
Hmm.
But it's called I kind of I looked it up today, so I'm not this smart. It's called the Mandela effect,
Oh
you
neat.
know,
Yeah.
where like it's kind of like you said, tangential. Like people hear her music and say, "Oh yeah, it was in this show," but
Hmm.
it actually wasn't. You know,
Ah.
it's just the sound is related to this show,
Okay. Okay.
because there was a different song in it. So
Mm.
like her sound is
Yeah.
so entrenched and ingrained in this TV show
Mm.
that because it was used in such important parts, you know, so
Yeah.
people immediately attach Sarah McLachlan and any Sarah McLachlan song that has like emotions
Hmm.
to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Um,
Wow. Interesting.
uh,
Huh.
so
Yeah. Yeah, I found that. I mean, to me, so I guess mainstream cis society, for lack of a better word, interprets that song about obsession, right? It's an
right,
obsessive love affair that and it just it almost horrifying in its detailing. And she wrote it because of a letter she had received from a fan, and she wanted to put herself emotionally in the fan's position. But um, to me, the song has a different connotation because to me, it's like how I felt dating women. But the lines like "I'll be the one to hold you," is more. But I'm gonna have to be the one to hold you down and kiss you aggressively, and this, because we'd connect and we'd meet and be these wonderful experiences. But the sex aspect of it now, where I would have to fulfill this masculine role, was
yeah,
so in the
yeah,
song says, wipe away the tears. It doesn't say whose tears. And in my
right,
interpretation, it's mine afterwards. And you just close your
right,
eyes, because that
right,
was the way female sexual relationships always work. Because it was the expectation and my inability to be able to meet that expectation
yes,
to stay.
yes,
I would, anyway, so there's a different, I've always interpreted that song. When I tell people it's one of my favorite songs, like it's like saying, every breath you take is your favorite song. The one by
yeah,
the Police that's also about
right,
obsession,
right.
right? But um,
I like your take on it, and it does make you know, turned like that,
mhm,
especially from a trans point of view,
mhm,
for me, like, I
Yeah.
don't know if it's for you, but yes, I can understand that,
Yeah.
or at least from somebody who is supposed to be masculine,
Mhm.
and is not, you
Yeah.
know?
And
Um,
there were so many relationships where I would connect with someone, and it would be like I could see a future with this person. I could see a lifetime with this person, but it was the sex aspect
right,
would always become the issue in the
right,
relationship.
right,
And I, when I was closeted, I was never able to say why, So
right,
I found that sort of release in that loneliness in that Sarah McLachlan song, because to me, with that interpretation, she understood how I was feeling and
right,
how I can only be myself alone at night, and how I can only, and
right.
because then I'd have to put on my day face to go to work, right? Or
Yes.
and so that song's interpretation for me is just that kind of different. Well, whereas mainstream society just sees it as a song about an obsessive person who's going to
Right.
harm you,
The
right?
masking, though. The
Yeah,
masking. Shit.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
yeah,
something we need to talk more about,
right, yeah,
in trans society.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
see. So, Precious Things. Yeah.
hmm,
Precious Things, Tori Amos. Last song. This is your plus one.
yeah,
Um, so I saw Tori Amos for this album.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're gonna laugh at the cost. Maybe you won't because back then concerts
Mhm,
were cheap,
mm.
but it was $6.
Yeah, oh
Uh,
my gosh. Okay, well, I'm
yeah,
laughing, but I'm still going like, yeah, that fits for the time. But
yeah,
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 so I saw her at the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra,
mhm,
and, I think it was like $6, and it was an amazing show.
mhm,
Um, Unfortunately, I have heard from
mm,
someone who played in her band for a
um,
while,
yeah.
that she is, a racist,
Oh my
and
God. Okay,
yeah,
I'm
and that
sorry.
is like I was like,
Yeah,
"Fuck," it's unfortunate, like, I hope it's not true, I don't know, because I am not 100 on this person,
yeah,
but, I would hate to think that she is. I love a lot of her music,
mhm, yeah,
and this song, yeah, I love. This whole
yeah.
first album was amazing to me,
Right, me too.
um,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Yeah, but I just,
um
yeah, I picked it because the Christian, I went to Catholic school, and all boys Catholic
Oh,
school
okay,
growing up. To man
okay.
me up. Dad put me in an all boys Catholic school.
Got
Yay. And so yeah,
Ugh,
so there's a lot of stuff in there about that Christian. So you can maybe come to me, whatever. And then
right.
yeah, and then the other, the 9 Inch Nails, little fascist panties stuff. That I was getting it from both sides. The girls that I wanted to hang out with, and the boys who wanted to stuff me in lockers. So
Uh, yes. Well, I didn't have boys who want to stuff me in lockers, but I did have my own bullies. Yes, I did.
yeah,
It seems
yeah,
like all like I don't know. Yeah. Well, we don't have to
yeah,
get into that. But
yeah. I
so
just use that as the generalization anyway. My bullies didn't do that either, but it's like
yeah.
trying to get
Okay.
across to most people. So yeah.
Mm. Um. So I picked some songs too. I
Yes,
don't
you
know if you
did.
know. So did you know any of my songs? First of all,
I knew Florence and the Machine.
okay.
Okay, and I knew God, what's the acoustic female?
Oh,
Now I'm
Indigo
spacing.
Girls.
Indigo Girls. Yes, I know those two.
Yeah.
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 Okay. I
Okay.
did not know any of the other music.
Okay. So the first one is Oshun, and
Yeah.
Oshun is the uh, Orisha, the Ifa Orisha, and so Ifa is a spirituality of
Mhm.
southern Nigeria,
Oh,
Benin, and Togo. I
mhm.
froze again. There we go. I'm
No, no,
back.
you're good.
Um, so yeah, and it is a earth spirituality, which is basically aligning yourself with your destiny and with the
Mm,
earth,
mm.
living in connection with the cosmos and the earth. It's a bunch of stuff. And anyway, I'm part of it. That's why I'm saying this.
Okay.
And my Orisha is Oshun. Oshun
Mm,
is the Orisha of divine femininity,
mm,
fertility,
mm,
money, like not money, but prosperity, beauty, sweetness, like waters, clear
mm,
waters. So I am a child of Oshun. and the song text is just it is like there's the lyrics, when
It took me
she
a while.
says, when she
Yeah.
talks about like a machete,
Mhm.
just in case. The machete in Ifa is a big thing, and indeed in most West African places, the
Yeah.
machete is a tool.
Mhm.
But I do like the way she says, and if I have to shoot, let it sing.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, that to me
Yeah.
was pretty clever. Like, I'm not big on, like, shooting guns or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I've never shot a gun in my life, but,
Mhm.
I just do I like the lyrics, and
Yeah.
the way it sounded together. I'm
Yeah.
more of a let's put the words together type of person as to,
Mhm.
let's make it I don't know. Like, I love the
Yeah.
way words put together.
Yeah,
Um,
I enjoyed
so
that song. I had to really look at the lyrics on my
right,
iPhone. I mean,
right,
I wanted to hear it first, so I like you did. I did a playlist and put them
right.
together, but I put them in separate so I could start yours and just listen. And
That's exactly what I did, yeah.
okay, good, good. And being the first song, I was kind of like not knowing what to expect, and I didn't recognize the artist, and I was like, oh, so let's see, and so I let that the sound wash over me, which I really enjoyed. First of all, I mean the rhythm and the beat and everything was really nice, but
Right,
I had to look at the lyrics, and I was like, there's a lot of there, and to like
right,
process in like 2 or 3
right,
days.
right.
So I'm glad you could tell me this. Yeah.
R right. So the next one, let's jump into it.
Mm,
Long and Lost. So, okay, this is Florence and the Machine.
mhm.
Um, excuse me, you know about Florence and the Machine.
I know about them. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Um,
I don't have any of the music. Yeah.
okay. Okay,
Mm,
so, whew, Florence and the Machine, I saw them for this album, which was, in 2015.
mhm,
The song is Long and Lost. It's one of my favorite songs. During this song, and this song is like, if you've listened to it, it's kind of emotional, like,
yeah. Mhm,
um, and so during this song, I was in ADA because I've got like invisible illness, so I'm disabled, but
mm,
you wouldn't be able to tell unless you saw me during a flare, but or
mm.
like because I have bipolar disorder too. I keep on forgetting that. Sometimes I'm
Hey,
just like,
we all got our things. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, so I was in ADA with Egg, and my Crohn's disease was flaring up, and so she was
Mhm,
singing this song, and I was having intense cramping and
mhm,
intense pain,
mhm,
and like it was both. And when I say, like I, I pretend I'm a poet, but like this is like it was both agony and ecstasy at the same
mm.
time. It was like, it I yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
spiritual release,
Okay.
um, in the pain, like I had to go through that pain to kind of release it,
Yes.
and then
Mhm.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it
Just sit in
was
the
it
moment with it. I guess sit in
yeah,
the moment.
yeah,
Process. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Own it and then let it go. Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. So that's what I always have
Mhm.
with that song. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
how I will always remember that song. And that's how I remember Florence. But
Yeah.
they have a new album. She has a new album out right now.
Okay.
And it is amazing too.
Mhm,
Yeah, it just came out this year, I think, or like late last year. Um,
mm. Yeah.
back down. Okay, so Anoni. Anoni, why did you separate me from the earth?
Yeah.
Um, have you heard of her before?
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I hope this isn't your favorite song. I had a very difficult time connecting to this. I couldn't find the hook. I couldn't
Right,
find a way in. It was
right,
so
right.
yeah. Yeah.
So it's she is a hate or love type of person.
Okay. I'm sorry I
There
just put my
yeah,
I hope this
people
wasn't your litmus test. Oh my
yeah.
god.
No, people are very she's very divisive. Now,
Yeah.
she is trans,
Okay.
she sung that song, "I Am Your Sister" with Boy George.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so, um, before she transitioned,
Mhm.
she was in a band called Anthony and the Johnsons,
Mm.
and they put out a lot of albums, and,
Yeah.
I loved them, before she transitioned, and then she
Mhm.
transitioned and went, like, solo for a little bit and did some
Yeah.
electronic type music, um, this is she's always been an ecologist type of earth type of person. And so this is like, why did you separate me from the earth? It
Yeah.
speaks on pollution and our separation from the divine feminine, and when we and like and speaks to patriarchy.
Mhm.
um
Mhm.
so it's a whole lot of a whole lot of stuff in this beautiful
Yeah.
song that you didn't really like very
No,
much.
I couldn't. My first instinct when it comes to music is, could I dance to it? I couldn't find
Oh,
the hook.
yeah, yeah. This is a hard song to dance to
Yeah,
for real.
yeah. I will listen to it some more, and I'm definitely going to investigate the artist because, yeah, thank you for that backstory. That gives context to it for sure.
You're
Yeah,
welcome. Yeah.
yeah.
So the next one, Indigo Girls,
Hmm.
True Romantic. So first of all, people know Indigo Girls, but I don't know if they know this song.
I did
This
not.
is off, yeah. So this is off Poseidon and something, the Big Squid or something like that.
Yeah.
And it is one of their later albums.
Hmm.
And this song in particular just
Hmm.
um caught my ear. And it's because Amy Ray. I just love their voice. And I'm gonna
Hmm.
say there because I think they use
They don't.
she, they
No.
pronouns.
Okay. Yeah.
And I might just stick to they. So
Hmm.
um I their voice is unmistakable to me
Hmm.
whenever, ever since Strange Fire came out.
Yeah.
Their voice has just been, like, strong for me, and
Hmm.
I live down where they live.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, 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 so, like, I'm pretty local to where they live. And so they, or where they lived when they started.
Mm.
Yeah, um,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
yeah, the music was just something I grew up with, Indigo Girls, and this
Hmm.
song is just a continuation of my fascination with them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Closer to Fine, the album, or Indigo Girls was the
Mm.
album of my, like, late high school, early college years, along with Tracy Chapman's album, Melissa Etheridge, all these great lesbian bands and folk type musicians.
Mhm.
They were all really informative on my
Mhm.
college years and late high school years.
Do you remember the folk in that genre? There was an artist who did a song called Anchorage, and I'm trying to. I guess I should Google it.
Anchorage?
Yeah. Um.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess I could do it. I'm not gonna go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just hoping you,
No.
because she was in that genre. You know.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I don't know. Maybe someone in the chat would know. Hey, Solar, is it Solar Heart Sophia? You are always on my feed, so I appreciate you coming in. Yeah. Um, oh, Sushi, what's up? I didn't see you pop in. So we're just going over playlist type stuff. So we're now to Oh, I skipped one.
Mm.
Now the no, I didn't.
No, it was
I'm sorry,
because I
I'm lost.
remember, because I wasn't able to connect to the song, and I'd listened to it several times, and I was like, I'm gonna go outside on my deck. Maybe that will help. And it. Oh, honey, oh no, you're moving. Um.
Well, this whole thing. Okay, there we go. So Buried Alive by Veronica Falls.
Yes,
Um, have you
I
did you
liked it.
like the sound of that?
Yes.
Okay, that is something you would like?
Well, I mean,
No.
I have various music interests. Okay.
Okay.
I spent an enormous amount of my younger life swearing there was only one music of worth, and it caused me to miss out on enormous amounts of music. Right.
Okay. Okay.
Punk is still the best, but but there's also a lot of really, really good music out there. And so when I was in the army, I was exposed to a lot of it. I guess people who would maybe go to college might have that experience where they have a roommate who doesn't listen. Yeah. So,
Right.
and that's how they get to know a new style of music or whatever. So the barracks was a great place to hear and be exposed to different types of music. And that's when I
Right.
developed my appreciation for other styles of music.
Okay. Okay.
But that style of sort of like there's some attitude, there's some, you know, some gruffness to it, some
Right.
buzziness around it. Yeah, that's
Yes.
that kind of my
So,
feeling.
I'll tell you what that reminds me of. It reminds me of the '90s.
Mhm, mhm. I
That
had to
sound,
mhm,
like, 100% '90s, and I was like, "Okay, fuck, this is"
mhm,
and then the lyrics, "I hope the tide
mhm,
bury the way I hope the tide brings me in," or "Don't let the tide bring me in."
mhm.
The lyrics are dark.
Yeah.
Dark, 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 but the music is, like, all like, "Yay, yay,"
Just
so
multiple
it's just
columns
such a
and rows.
contrast that
Yeah.
people, if they're just listening to the music, they're just bopping along until they're like, "Wait."
Mhm.
Okay. So this is a little bit darker than I thought, which is kinda cool. I like that.
Yeah, I like
Um,
that too.
o
Yeah.
okay. So we
I
did
had to
the
when I was listening to it, I had to, like, go, "Wait a minute, when was this made?" Because like, "How did I
right,
miss this?" And then it was like,
right,
"Oh my god, 2013?" Or I guess that was or was it 25? I can't
right,
remember. One
right.
of them. Yeah. Yeah.
And,
It amazed me.
it's unfortunate they had such a sad story, but their drummer
Mhm.
passed away, so
Oh.
they didn't put out any more music.
That
Kinda like
sucks.
Pretty Girls
Yeah.
Make Graves. I don't know if you know who they are, but,
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
okay, they put out, like, one album, they had such potential, and I think and then they,
Yeah.
like, all fucked it up, and I don't know what happened to them, but, like,
Yeah.
Pretty Girls Make Graves, had a great
Mm.
album, so,
Yeah.
um,
The one thing
okay.
about the Belle and Sebastian song, though, that I do wanna say is that
Yeah.
what I appreciate most about that band, um, is that they're a large ensemble. And
Yes,
when
they
you're first
are.
starting out as a band and you're splitting your $200 for the night amongst 8 people, you're
Right,
doing it for the love of the game, right? And
right.
so and they stuck together throughout, and it's a really kind of a cool band.
I do
That song is
remember
not representative of the band, but yeah.
well, I do remember when the boy with the Arab strap is that
Uh-huh.
the name of the boy with the Arab
Yes, it
strap?
is.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
yeah,
Boy with
okay. I
Earshot.
do remember when that came out, so,
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm. And if you're feeling sinister and about to yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes, okay,
yeah.
yes,
Mhm,
yes.
mhm,
Um, so the next song I picked is a hip hop song. Now, it's called New Better. It's JID or
mhm,
Jiddy, JID Jid, with Little Yachty, and his name is also Little Boat, Little Yachty.
mhm,
Um, and it's something that I like. Let's say it like that. I like a lot of hip hop, a lot of different kind of
yeah.
hip hop. This is just a fun song. I did you like it?
I spent the most time with this song because I liked it the most, to be honest with you. So
Really?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yes,
This one
yes,
went
this
into
is
playlists for me. Okay.
okay, okay, yeah, this is a good song, I love
Yeah.
this song.
Yeah,
JID, like,
the
the
way it
lyrics are
flows and the beat changes,
yes,
it's amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of
yes.
there. Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what I like about good hip hop.
yeah.
I like the beat changes, I like the flow, but
Mhm,
more than that, I like the lyrics because it's
mhm,
poetry, the
mhm,
way they're
mhm.
putting these words together to describe this
Yeah,
imagery
yeah.
is beautiful, and sometimes the imagery may be violent,
Mhm,
but it is when you hear the way it's put together,
mhm.
it's art,
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah,
there are people who just don't understand that,
yeah, yeah,
and no, so okay, so and then I just threw in the Possession piano version because I wanted to
mhm,
hear that,
mhm,
and I liked it. The
mhm.
reason why I put in the piano version is because I could have sworn it was in Buffy, and then
Yeah.
that's when I looked it up, and it was the Mandela effect, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, yes, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense now. Makes sense now.
So yay, fun, fun,
Yeah.
fun. Now we have now. So first of all, this is going to be like a fuck, Mary swipe left.
Wait a minute, I might actually get lucky and have go to the I have to go to drag bingo at 8 p.m.
Oh shit! What time is
Yeah,
it? It's
7.
7. Okay. What time do you need to get ready now?
Well, like, soon. Let's do the
Okay.
Fuck, Marry,
Well,
Kill. Okay.
hold on. No, no, no.
Yeah.
Let's do it again sometime in like 2 weeks or three
Yeah.
weeks.
And
Okay.
yeah, and then I'll have something other than Mexican food because I really want to do this game right. So it's not gonna be tacos or enchiladas and yeah, screw that. I
Right.
want to do it right.
Okay. So y'all in the chat, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. Look for me and Samantha Page. I'm OnyxRose in like 2 or 3 weeks. I'll throw out the invite.
Yeah.
Samantha, do you want to plug your page or something?
So yeah, I'm Samantha Page here on Substack. Samantha Page, she, they, and then I do a Sunday show with Autumn, the trans witch, on Sundays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So yeah,
Oh, the trans witch. So I didn't know that. Are
yeah,
are you a witch?
no.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to
But
know. I
hey,
mean,
more power. I don't, there's more there than I know of, right? My favorite
yeah.
quote is, there's more in heaven and in earth than you're aware of, Horatio. I just butchered my favorite quote, but yeah. So I'm enjoying that aspect of her because it's new to me, and so
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
and she's amazing.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So plug that again so we all know.
Oh, we do a Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific time on my
Yeah.
Substack. So yeah, and then she joins me
Okay.
and co-hosts with me. So yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I am OnyxRose. OnyxRose 9 on on Substack. You can find me there. I don't post long form anymore on Substack, so you can find me at onyxrose.net. That is my
Mhm.
website. I want y'all to come and subscribe or at least read some shit. I'm trying to do the poetry, the every Saturday poetry thing
Oh,
where
nice.
I put out a poem every Saturday.
Mhm.
I will release the link for my site of the poem to Substack. That I'm doing this with Sturge Writes It Down. So if y'all know Sturge, we're going to try and do this for the whole month of April for National Poetry Month.
Right. It is.
Yep. Also check out uh, what's it called? Trauma Talk tomorrow. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, with Wendy the Druid, Brandon, Sarah. Well, Sarah won't be there, but the poet Miranda, and
Love
myself.
her.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so, Samantha, thank you.
My
It
pleasure.
was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. It
We'll
was a
have to
blast.
definitely do it again.
Please.
Keep in touch back channel. And everybody, have a great night. I always end this way: no trash, no transphobia, no racism, no ableism, no sexism, no homophobia, no xenophobia, no Islamophobia. Fuck Trump and fuck ICE.
And take your
Good
meds.
night, y'all.
Yes. All right. Good night.
Good night.
I don't know what to do. Ah.